Hi guys, John here, Common Sense Outdoors. So if you've seen the previous video, we went back further into the woods where the survival shelter was, and it's no more. I've cleaned up the survival shelter area and got my trash out of there. I've came back down closer to the house, so hopefully people will leave this spot alone. And I actually had a fire even closer to the house before in a couple of videos, and I've brought some of the stuff I had there up here. I brought a few things down here from the survival shelter, like I grabbed a rock, a nice baton, one of the poles I had for my cook system. May end up using that later here. In fact, we'll set it up there to make sure I don't accidentally burn it. So the spot I picked, there's actually this old dead tree that's fallen down. There's wood all around me here. And this video may end up being a little bit long. There's just several tips that I'm going to show while I'm doing what I'm going to do. So I'm going to turn you down to where my little fire pit's going to be here, and we'll make us fire and get started. So these pieces of wood is what I brought from the fire that I had down closer to the house. And I'm just going to use them for a ring. I've got the rock there. Got a little stuff sack that I gathered some stuff to make fire with on the way. The nice thing about making products that have jute twine in them is every one I make, I end up with pieces of jute twine left over. So I just throw them in a bag and they go into fire kits and whatnot. I might not need the jute with this moss, but we're going to use it anyway. You notice I have my rock in there before I make the fire, so that rock will heat as the fire heats. If it was cold and the fire was already hot with a hot bed of coals and I put a cold rock in there, it could blow it up. I wanted to show you that this is by no means a totally flat rock. But as long as I have one good flat edge, this is the rock I used before down there. And I can get that in there to sit solid. This is how I would normally use my Canteen cup. So one of the tips that I'm going to show today is another way to go. Instead of using the rock, I didn't have to prep and get a bunch of wood ready to go, because pretty much I have wood right now at arm's reach all the way around me. So we'll be cleaning this up as we're getting our fire going. Okay, we'll let that burn down a little bit and we'll start talking about our next tip. So I've got a couple of things that I've already went and found. One of the tips we're going to talk about is a simple pot suspension system. If you don't want to use a rock like that, or a rock's not a good option, you can put it on wood, but then you have to hope that the wood doesn't shift. So all I've done is I've went out and got a top of a dead sapling I found, and you can see I've left all these branch nubs on it. So I wasn't sure which ones I was going to want yet. Because one of the points I'm going to make is you've probably seen somebody, or a lot of people, just get a wide branch like this and stick it in the ground. This one's way bigger, and I'm just using it for an example. Brought that down from shelter too. Actually, here's a good one. So if I had just a wide branch like this and I stuck it in the ground, and then I had a pole that I was going to hang my pot off, I could just set it in that Y. The problem with that, well, there's not really a problem with it, but what's nice about having a branch like this with all these branches on it. Okay, I can see we're not going to want this one right here. Whew, goddamn fire. We're not going to want that one. And that one. Okay, so all I've done is to sharpen the end. The fire's going to die down enough now to let me do something. And I'm just going to shove that in the ground. And now what those branches do, instead of just having this Y branch here, is I have an adjustable pot suspension, depending on how close I want it to the heat. Okay, then what I would do, depending on if you have a heavy pot or what you're putting on there, is I just have a branch, another Y branch, and I'm just going to put it back here at the base. I'm going to get this rock that I brought back with me. I'm not making it real solid. I want to be able to move it still. I just want to know that if I put a heavy pot on here, this isn't going to tip up. It's just going to hold that in for me. Alright. So now we have a pretty good adjustable pot suspension system with just a couple pieces of wood. The next tip is how can we hang that canteen cup on that system. In the bottom, under my canteen, I have 3 items. 2 little D-clips and a 15-inch piece of wire. 15 is just barely long enough to do it. Looks like I need to turn you over this way a little bit. A 15-inch piece of wire is just barely long enough to do this, but it does work. All I'm going to do is run my wire through my handles, around to the front, and wire them together. Just twist the ends together. I'm going to slide it up right to the ring. I'm going to take one of the D-clips, make sure you guys can see me or see what I'm doing. I'm going to take one of the D-clips and I'm going to hook it to one of the butterfly handles up to the top, so that when it closes together, it holds that D-clip right up against the cup. And then I'm just going to take the other D-clip and I'm going to hook it right to the wire. And give that wire a couple more twists and make sure it's tight. And just like that, I can take my suspension stick. Oh, we're going to have to trim off some knobs. Suspension stick. I left that little knob right there just a little bit. Just run my stick right through both of those, and I have a way to hang my canteen. Let's put some water in it. I'm just putting enough for a cup of coffee in there. You can't fill that as full as you want. It's not tippy because the wire is right up at the ring, so it's like holding your canteen cup with your fingertips like this. I don't know if you can see that, but we just take our suspension pole, we put it in there, we decide what height we want. Looks like we can drop it all the way down to the bottom. We're good to go. So that way you have heat directly under instead of it being on a rock. Excuse me. Bear with me for a second. I'm going to try to lower this tripod. Ugh, come on. Sorry guys. Stupid tripod. Well, I just broke it. And I still didn't get that pushed into where I wanted it. There we go. Okay, so now I have heat directly under my canteen cup, right over the middle of the coals and the heat. It works just fine on the rock, and that's the rock method is normally how I go. But this is a good option to know. They have those two little D clips and that piece of wire with you. Especially if you were going to make a soup, I don't know, if you're out camping or living off the land and you got a squirrel and you wanted to make a squirrel stew, that's something that you want to bring to a boil and then simmer for quite a while. So I put it down there low like that with a soup or a stew in it. Sorry. And when it starts to boil, just come over here, grab your suspension stick, raise it up. Oops. It's getting real close to wanting to boil already. As soon as we get a boil, we're going to have us a cup of coffee. So I might as well get that out. And a couple little pieces of wood on there. See if I can get you just a little closer. Getting ready to bubble. Alright, and get ready to make some coffee. And there she's boiling. Doing a terrible job keeping the camera steady today, or in this video. Alright, there's a full boil. That stick right up there. Nope. I'm not supposed to drop the wrapper in there too, am I? A little bit of sweetener. Pretty hot. We're going to wait a second on that. Okay. Oh, smells good. Little Folgers Instant. All right, guys. Using a Canteen cup, you learn real quick to touch the rim of that cup before you take your first drink, so you don't burn off your lip. Oh, that's good. Alright guys, that's pretty much all I wanted to show you in this one. This pole here isn't any harder to do than to find just a Y branch and stick in there and do the same thing. but it gives you so much more options, being able to control your heat. Excuse me. So I hope you like that tip. Hope you like the little tip about being able to suspend your canteen cup. A couple of things I haven't seen anybody else do, so I thought I'd come out here and show you. I think I might sit here and relax for a while and drink my cup of coffee. Maybe I'll do another video. I don't know. I have to think about it. Got a couple other things on my to-do list for videos that I haven't got to. See if I want to get to any of those while I'm out here. If not, we'll see you in the next one. Thank you for your support. By the way, I've hit over 1,000 subscribers just recently. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll be doing something for a giveaway or something. I haven't quite decided yet what I want to do and how I want to do it, but I'll take care of you. We'll do something here real soon. Appreciate your support, your views, your comments, your likes. We'll see you in the next one.